You call the roll, please.
Okay, Cindy,
Present.
Mike,
Here.
Tim,
Here.
me, I'm here, Lance,
Here.
Joe,
Here.
Anthony,
Just signed on.
excellent. John,
Here.
Arno,
Here.
Brewster, Doug,
Present.
Enrique,
Here.
Dave Hammond.
Here.
We know Barb's not going to be here. Dave,
Yes. Hello?
I see you. And Scott, you're here.
Scott Walker.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yep.
so we are missing Brewster. Did he say he was going to be running late?
No, that was Anthony.
Oh, Anthony.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's move on. Thank you very much, Sue. Sue previously sent out the secretary's report with some modifications. Are there any further corrections to the minutes that she sent out from our January meeting? If not, they will be approved as submitted by Sue Hauser. Tim previously sent out the treasurer's report. Tim, do you have any general comments?
No, but I would like to ask, because I can't remember if we did this at the retreat or not. If we need to have a vote on the budget, and if we do, then can we do that?
Excuse me. Do you want to make a motion to accept the budget as you presented it?
Yes, I make a motion to do what you just said.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
All right. It is
Who
moved.
was the second?
I heard Zates.
Oh, okay.
Or Banj, I think. I'm not sure.
Banj
Or
is
Anthony.
fine.
There were a variety of hands.
All right. All right. All right. Is there any discussions or questions of Tim?
I do have a comment because I asked this at the board meeting, and it's pretty important, actually. You know, what we do every year, we include in our income the monies that belong to future years. We do that every year. And we usually spend anywhere from 5 or 10 or 15 of that money in there. So nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're not in any precarious situation with that. But what happens is every year the IRS filing that Tom Rossi does cannot include that. And he's warned us about that. In other words, he's got to take those monies out. And when he takes them out, it shows the club being on the red. Whether it's 5,000 or 10 or 15, doesn't matter. If we continue to do that, the IRS will audit us because they can't see an organization being in the red every year. So we have to make, you know, as the year progresses, we got to make a few adjustments here and there, not just let things, you know, fall and go on autopilot. We got to make a few adjustments here and there, just so that at the end of the year, we can avoid that situation. If we avoid that situation 1 year, and then we have it 2 or 3 years again, doesn't matter, but we can't have it every year. So just to be aware that we really do need to take a look at that treasurer's report and make little adjustments here and there. That's my
Okay. Enrique, I'm going to send you an email with some questions for information that I know you can provide.
Okay.
And that'll help me make that adjustment.
All right. Are there any further comments on the budget? All right. If not, all those in favor of accepting the budget for 2020 as presented by Tim Sproul, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? All right. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, Scott. Thank you, Scott Walker. Thank you very much for being here. Would you like to give us an update on the convention, please?
Things are moving ahead as planned and well at that. The full schedule and articles will be coming out in Alpha Owner here in about a week and a half or so. And the website will be live to start registering for the convention at that time, around that same time. We've been working on sponsorship. Centerline has agreed to be the primary sponsor, and they've actually agreed to give us $5,000 to be the primary sponsor. So that's obviously a very good thing.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got a number of other sponsors at this point, and we've been having people contact us regarding vendors and things like that, and that's moving ahead, as planned. So
Great. Thank you very much. Are there any questions of Scott? If not, that's it. Like I said, a couple weeks from now, everything will be live.
Hey, Cindy, hold on.
Yeah.
This is
Yes,
Arno. Okay. Hi, Scott. It's Arno. Reeves
Hello.
Callaway stuff. What do you need to know to set up? I think we've kind of mentioned what he's going to do. He just kind of wants to have an hour and a half or so of like a conference room where he can give a little presentation, and then we wanted some parking area for Callaways that might show up. Is that, and I think you said that was going to be scheduled during those tech session hours that were shown on the schedule when we looked at that in Palm Desert. Is that still all good?
yes, yeah, there are no problems with that. And if that is finalized on his side, we will start promoting that as part of it. Part of it is, figuring out that, yes, this is happening. I don't want to promote it until I'm 100% confident that it's moving ahead.
Yeah, it is. He's sent me some communication that he's still all in. So, and I still do want to do a little Concord class of some sort, if we have Callaways.
Right, John?
Absolutely.
John?
I have another question for Scott.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, will there be, if I'm going to be driving my 4C in the pre-tour, and I was wondering if there would be a vehicle that I could put some luggage into to haul it around between the places. Since David Hammond and I are going to be together, and his camera bag takes up my entire trunk. Nelson, the thing for our stuff. So
Yeah.
I needed a chase vehicle or something I could put a couple of small bags in.
Well, I'm sorry. That sounds like Dave's problem, not mine. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, this is
Or Dave's camera bag.
This is Joe.
I
If
guess-
we're on the, okay,
Put it on the roof.
if we're on the pre-tour, we might have room in our Julia.
Right. So I
assuming
guess
we
the
can-
one question.
Assuming we
Scott.
could
Sorry.
get signed up for it.
All right, go ahead, Scott.
It will open up, here in a couple weeks. I expect there will be spaces early on. I guess the big question is which tour you're planning on doing, the one starting in Denver or the one starting in Grand Junction, because I believe we can make that happen. The Denver one will be easy. The Grand Junction one, I'll have to make sure that we can have that available. So.
Okay.
And the Grand Junction one is the west, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
and another question, is it pet
Yes.
friendly?
Pet friendly.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I haven't. That's a question I haven't even considered. I will have to talk to the two hotels, because the two hotels, I hadn't even thought of it. So I'll have to look into that.
Hey, Scott, it's Arno again. Back to Reeves Callaway. Do you want me
Yes.
to just send you just something in writing so we're all on the same page?
Sure, that would be great.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I'll copy Reeves on that. Okay, I'll get that.
Okay.
What's your best contact? Email.
Email SCWALK
Oh, I'm
at
sorry.
Gmail.
Hold on, my pen just died. Say again.
That's okay.
S-
SCWALK
Uh-huh.
at
SC
Gmail.
Walk. At Gmail.
Yeah, SC Walk. So
scwalk@gmail.com. Okay, I'll send you something here in the next few days.
And going back to the question about pets, I know that the East Tour will be fine because I've heard that our main hotel will take pets, and so that won't be a problem. The West Tour, I don't know about the 2 hotels that we've arranged with, so I'll have to check on that if that's what you're thinking about.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
the hotel we're staying at is pet friendly.
That's what he just said.
That's what yes, I believe that is correct. I will double check that,
Yeah,
but
we've
I'm
signed
pretty
up for it.
positive that that is correct. Okay, very good.
And Scott, it's Arno one more time. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Can
that's
you
okay.
can you put me in contact with your concours organizer, chairman, whatever, so we can
Sure.
get some stuff going now, so that we're not doing it at the last minute?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, who is that?
It is John Warner is his name.
Okay. All right. Yeah. If I'll send you an email and then you can just forward it on and then we can go from there.
Okay, that sounds great.
Thanks.
Thank you, Arno. Thank you, Scott. All right, any more questions of Scott?
When was this going live?
2
Registration?
weeks. 2 weeks.
It will go live before March 1st. It'll probably be February like 22nd, 23rd, somewhere in that weekend. Because talking to Elise, the Alpha owner, is to be out later in February, probably the 27th, 26th, 27th is what we had talked about. And we would like the website to be active a few days before that. The website is active, but the registration side of it will be active at that time.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Cindy, quick question.
Yeah.
What, maybe Arno would know this. Was it difficult to get Reeves?
Well, I know that Arno had some contacts. Also, Jim Barrett apparently has a close relationship with Reeves Callaway.
Yeah, actually, it was Reeves' idea. He was talking to a gentleman in Texas who knows me and who has a Callaway, and then he, got a hold of me and said, "Can I put you in contact with Reeves? Reeves wants to do this and this and this because of the registry that he's putting together." And I just got an email from him in fact, a couple days ago saying he's got 34 of the cars figured out now, and he's writing a book, and he's got making these certificates of authenticity. It's a commercial thing for him, but it's also a historical thing for him. So it's kind of cool, and it's documenting some history and stuff. So yeah, it was not, it was more giving him the opportunity to do it if he wanted to do it. So
Are we, as a club or either national or Colorado, is there any thought about, are we extending any type of courtesy to him, sort of comping his stay for the 2 days or anything like that?
what he said was he's not expecting anything, but obviously if someone, if they comped him a room or obviously give him his registration or something for free.
Right.
But he wouldn't say no, but he's not expecting anything. So it's all pretty cool.
Yeah, Anthony, he came to the winter retreat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
He was here for the whole weekend, and he wrote very, very glowing, gracious comments about it, and he had a great time, and that we're all wonderful.
Fascinating guy too. I mean, I did not realize all the things that he was involved in, or his family.
Right.
Like the development of Dacron polyester, golf clubs, Callaway wines, all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, anything more of Scott? If not, thank you very much, Scott. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you being able to join us. I know it was a work day and that you were supposed to be on call, so appreciate you being with us.
Absolutely. Thanks. It's great talking to you, and I will plan on talking to you a month from now.
You're soon. All right. Okay. Thank you, Scott. Bye-bye.
Sounds good. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. We have been talking now for a couple of years, actually, to have ability to sign up members when we're out at events, basically on a mobile status. And Lance has been working on it, Mike, and Susan also has been involved in it. So Lance, you want to report what you have found, and Sue, you can supplement that if you would, please.
Sure. So I spoke with a Square salesman today. It's pretty simple. We just need to make an account at Square. The caveat is that they need to have in the account, they need to have a real name, a person's name, and a person's social, in addition to the EIN for the organization. But the EIN is the only thing that really matters as far as the account is concerned. I had expressed to him that my experience with Square was that it was simple to use as a user, but what I didn't know was the back end part of it, was the funds going into the account and all of that. And he said, well, at the end of the day, whenever you're using it, they send you a report of everything that has gone through. And they will have in that report how much money we took in, also how much money they took off the top as their fees, which is only about 2.5% to 3%, depending on what systems we're going to be using. So it's pretty simple. It can be done very quickly. You can do it all online, and they would just send out the information. Now we would need to make a decision as to whether we want to buy one of the touchless readers, if we want to go with Apple Pay or Samsung Pay or any of those initially. We don't have to do that right away. We could use just a little Square, but we would also need to know what type of device we're going to be connecting it to. On the Apple devices, it would plug into the standard Lightning port. If we're going to be using an Android phone, it would be a different thing, plugging into the audio port. But I think that, we had talked about using an iPad, so that would be the same thing as an iPhone. You just plug it into the Lightning port on the bottom. Other than that, it's just swiping the card or taking the touch payment if we want to do that.
So let me just jump in real quick.
Go ahead, Sue.
I have an iPhone 6. Mine just plugged straight in. My niece has an iPhone 8, and she had to get an adapter for the to plug into her phone that plugs into the Square. So it's just a little, I don't know, couple inches long, but it plugged the port for the Square is different, than what fits into her iPhone 8 and above. But it was only, she bought her, and that was just this past year. And so she just got the adapter, I believe, on Amazon for 10 or 12 bucks, and it works just fine. But it's a little adapter thing.
Do they not make one that's Bluetooth?
Well, they have accessories which are available for a fee that do have Bluetooth.
Then it would work on anything, right?
Yeah, the touchless payment is a Bluetooth receiver also, but they have a whole line of hardware.
One of the things, and Lance mentioned it, which is that it provides you with a print, the names of the people that have made a charge. So you can connect, if you had say somebody filled out a manual membership card and they've swiped it, then you've got their name to connect with the form that they filled out. The other thing is that in addition to going directly to our bank account, it can be automatically downloaded into our QuickBooks. So it takes away a couple of steps.
And that was it. I mean, the accounting part was what I was most concerned with, because I didn't know anything about how they did that. But I mean, I'm sure that there are connectors, and they would just shoot the money. I mean, anything that they get will go directly in.
Let's be clear about one thing. Right now, at least, we don't have any automation that feeds QuickBooks from any system, neither from Paya, which is our credit card, or anywhere. We have no hooks. Everything is manual, which is fine. I mean, that's how we operate. So if we get this, you know, we're gonna have to have somebody, the admin was gonna have to make the entry for this. But I mean, it's no different than anytime we have somebody make a phone call and you know, as long as we get the membership, That's really our goal.
Right. Right.
Whatever we
Yeah,
gotta do.
that is the goal. I don't think we have to worry too much about the administrative details on it. The main thing, as I said at Palm Desert, is give us the devices that we need to get the money on the spot. We're leaving for Amelia Island 3 weeks from tomorrow. Okay, after that, we've got Concorso, Lance, as you know, and after that, we got Watkins Glen. All right, all we need is a device, a system that's going to enable us to take the money. We have manual systems to get all the information that we need, and we have an administrator who will enter that. So please, can you just get us going on the devices, the applications, setting up the account? I'm concerned about the timing of that.
Okay. Well, it's a decision that we would have to make as to whose name is going to be on it, who's going to do the ordering as well. I mean, all of that has to be done through the Square site.
All right, let me come back to that. Doug?
Got a question, Lance. When we use this Square Pay system, are we just ringing up like a cash register the dollar amount that we're going to charge and it receive those dollars for whatever the service or product is that we're selling?
Yes.
In essence, yes. There will be a dashboard, which we would have to design, which is like the different memberships, the single membership, the family membership, the Verdes, and all of that. And the charges would be basically a menu, and you pick the one you want. That's the price that would be charged.
So to key in with what Mike's comment was, that we're 3 weeks away, how much time is necessary to build that template and test it out so that we could use this system for Amelia? Or is it just not really going to happen that quickly?
I don't know the answer to that.
I can kind of answer that one. If you, from the Square, after you have the app on your phone or whatever, there is a menu, and a pull down menu. It says item. You click on that, and then it will tell you to not design, but to type in what you want, like blue shirts or whatever, and then it'll give you a price, or you put the price in, and then you just keep going till you have them all in there, and then that's it. It shouldn't take much time because we don't have that many things we need to put in. If we were putting in the chairs or any of the other merchandise, that would take a little longer simply because there's more stuff to put in. But simply just for the 5 or 6 items that we need, it shouldn't take very long as you don't have fat fingers. You just want to you just need to get it in there. It's not hard. But the one thing I wanted to say, I was just looking at a payment I got when I was at a craft fair last December. The It tells me how much what I accepted on the card. It tells me the last 4 digits of the credit card number. It does not give me a name. So that is something that we'd have to watch for. Now, maybe I don't know. That's just the way mine works, but I've had mine a long time.
Is it possible maybe that there is a field in that entry where you could type in you could design it to type in the person's name so that it retains that as well? I don't know.
I think, may I suggest this, that these are really some details I think that we can address offline so that we can move on with the agenda.
Sure.
May I assume that everybody is acceptable to proceeding with this? At this point, it's not costing us money out of pocket, except maybe if we have to buy an adapter or something like that. Is that correct, Lance?
That's correct.
Okay, so, John, I'm sorry.
Make a motion.
You want to make a motion?
Oh, well, sure, I'll make one. I make a motion that we acquire a Square and set the process up to be able to charge people on site immediately.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Is there
So
any-
Cindy,
Yes.
so Cindy, as we're talking, I'm texting my wife. She's upstairs sleeping, and I asked her what device. I asked her what.
Texting her if she's sleeping.
Listen, there's no time for sleep.
I know. I know.
I don't believe in it. So I texted her. She has her own little side business, and she uses this Square device that you guys are talking about. She says it's very easy. She has the device. She has the app. It plugs into her phone, and it swipes the card. And as Mike said, charge capture, move on. How the information gets recorded, etc., I'll have to sort out. But Mike, I have a device here at home. So if you guys are in a pinch, I might be able to let you borrow it for.
All right, we might need it for the weekend.
Yeah, but it's going to go into his account, Mike.
Oh, no. Oh, we got to change it.
It'll go my wife's bank account. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right. If there's no further discussion, all those opposed, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh,
You should oppose.
Opposed.
You mean in
I haven't
favor?
even had any wine tonight. All of those in favor, please signify by
Mine's
saying
empty.
aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Aye.
Okay, I assume no opposition. It passed unanimously. Thank you. I know we kicked this around for a couple of years. So, Mike, we will get it done.
All
We'll
right.
get it done. All right. All right. Thank you very much. All right, John,
Okay.
you're up.
I've got the ballot ready to go, although I ran into a problem that I just noticed before the thing with my test ballot. So I've got should be just a format issue, fix it. I've already talked with Dave about sending it up, so we'll probably release it either tomorrow or a Thursday for the online voting ballot. We have 3,221 people that are going to get online votes or online links this year.
Okay, and if you have if you have like a family membership, if you have a family membership, they have to do the manual.
Well, if they gave me a different email and gave me a first and a last name for both of those, they have 2 different emails and 2 first and last names. For Gold and Verdi families, they will both get an email.
Okay. Oh, great.
Right? Now, there is a significant number of the Gold and Verdi families that do not have either an email or a different email for the second member. Okay. But so I can't send those to them, and I don't send them if they don't have a name on it, because we capture the name as part of our verification process.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but the emails are done. I took that as of the date of the 1st of February, since we're into the end of February now. Use that as our cutoff date. Anything after that we'll have a few that we'll be sending for voting that won't sign up, but then we'll catch some of them that are signing up late, or excuse me, renewing late at this particular point. And
Okay.
we'll go from there. So that's all ready to go.
All right. Thank you, John. And the magazine should be coming out shortly. So,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you very much. All right, John.
Second part on this was the inference. I'm mostly just bringing this up is that it was on the list of things that we talked about in March. And one of the things was being able to see if we had the capability of creating aliases for our chapters on the website and not having to pay extra for that. And as nearly as I can tell, we can create as many aliases within Rackspace as we need. So that should be a no charge additional. So if they want to have an email that says, I want it to go to Florida Club, and then that actually would then get forwarded to somebody actual, that wouldn't cost us anything extra. I just have to, well, I would, or somebody would have to set the alias up in the MailerLite program.
All right.
It's just a follow up on a November or a January issue.
All right. Thank you, John. John, why don't you also talk about the Survey Monkey that we're going to do over the membership?
Okay, yeah, I'll just go ahead and do that. I thought you'd have them all together anyway, but
I know.
I just also was one of the things that came out of our January thing was about doing another, not so much demographic survey as just interest survey and what they've been doing. In other words, how many chapter events have you gone to, and a few things along those lines. And we're going to be doing that, but we're not going to put that out at the same time we're doing voting, because we thought it might get some interaction or some fusion or something there. So this would be something that would be coming out probably the latter part of April at this point, mid to late April.
All right. Thank you, John. So what he's saying is that we will do that, the survey, but we'll wait till after the voting is done.
Right.
So
So
thank you.
If you've got questions that you'd like to have, I've gotten a couple of these in already. If you've got something that you'd like to have, send those in, generate it out, send it out to the whole board, but that way I'll get it and I'll look at it. But make sure you aren't replying to something else, put survey question in your subject or anything so I can follow up with it.
All right. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. All right. Sue and Joe, do you want to talk about the calendar?
Sue,
Go ahead,
how are you
Joe.
doing
Go ahead.
as far as lining up the outfit that's going to publish it? Or
The one thing that I am finding is that to get a bid, we have to have something to show them. So we have to be mostly set up with all the photos we want, so they can tell us how much they're going to charge us. I know it seems backwards, but that's what I'm finding. If we wanted to do a 14 or a 16 month, we have to. They don't want to just automatically start putting out bids, because that's not the easiest thing, I guess, for them. So we need to have a more firm idea what we're doing with how many months. And if we, do we want to have a spot on there for a sponsor? Do we want to have the little thumbnails? I mean, all that's going to add into what it costs, and it's hard to get a bid without knowing what we really want to have, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Who
John?
was doing the calendars that you had for St. Louis?
Janet Hurst did all those.
Okay, did she set it up or do all the printing too?
Yeah, she did it all herself.
Okay.
Joe, what do you think?
well, I've been working on picking some pictures, and I've also talked with Elise, who also said that Casey would help us out a little bit if we needed it. So
Okay, good.
the local camera guy can tell me, you know, how many, if I go over 1,000, it costs this. But, you know, need to figure out exactly how big we want it and get some of that stuff off, and then actually get a bid from somebody and see where it goes.
Right.
And so I'll be looking for some pictures from Lance and some of the others, Fred Russell, and I'm sure Dave Hammond could get me some pictures of alphas in the snow for the winter months. And we'll get that together and get a few bids and see what where that goes from now. I know the guys at A1, they did a calendar for theirs. I'm not sure. Dave Pratt did one. I'll give him another call and find out exactly how he did that. So, and we'll get back to you as quick as we can.
Do you think you might be able to have something for us more definitive by next month?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's aim
our
for that.
Gretel covered in ice.
Well, we can have a juxtaposition of the January in Detroit and in Palm Desert, right? Coachella Valley, right? John, I'm sorry, I think I cut you off. John? No? Okay. All
He's
right,
on
so-
mute.
Okay.
I know I'm on mute. I didn't have anything to say. I just asked her about nothing else. I mean,
Yeah, the Janet Hurst did that, and she said she'd never do it again because she did it all herself.
All right. All right. Well, if you can come back to us for next month, that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for continuing to work on it. All right. Sue, do you want to talk about the rally guidelines?
Well, I've written up the notes that I had, and all the wonderful ideas that I got at Palm Desert, but I have not done anything with it because I've had a couple of weeks that have been not too good here. So with a family member passing away, he was 45, and leaving a nine-year-old child behind. And then 4 days later, a friend's husband passed away.
Oh my gosh.
So I've been I said, no more, done with that. So I have a couple people here in St. Louis who are excellent writers who said that they would help get things organized. I know, Joe, we really need to talk about what all we want to put in there. But, you know, she said, Janet said that she would help with the writing and get something all set up. So I'm hoping by next month that we'll have something for the board to look at. I mean, it's not going to be elaborate by any means, but it needs to be, we don't want to scare anybody, you know?
Right.
But,
All right.
you know, who's ever putting on the rallies. Pardon?
Yes.
I didn't hear.
Yeah, just an observation. We do have a moving events code, which actually covers some very basic requirements for the rally. So I think we need to make sure that we put a note in both documents so they cross-reference each other and that nothing contradicts each other. It shouldn't, because of what's in the, but we do have
Enrique, where is that? Is it on our website?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you can
it used to
download
be
the most
the
recent off the website.
That's
Okay.
a good idea.
Yes.
You go out in the, if you go out in the library, you can see the comp code, or excuse me, Tim, the moving event code.
Okay.
All right.
And
Thank you.
that would be that's a good suggestion.
That's a good place to start. Thank you.
Good place
right.
to have it.
Yeah, but Enrique's not kidding. It's only the most minor stuff. It doesn't provide half of what you're talking about. So
Right.
but
And
would
it
be
shouldn't.
good to
It should
get
be
these
separate,
documents
like you
together.
have it.
Yeah, that I understand the moving event code has to be fairly generic, and we need to expand on that to make the rally more safe. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sue. Great. Alpha owner expansion, Casey is working on an outline for for a presentation. So I've been communicating with him on a regular basis. So I expect to hear something back from him. If you recall from our meeting here in Palm Desert, that we asked him and Elise to coordinate on outlining a potential, like an RFP, a concept that we could take to FCA and or potential advertisers to begin the process of moving to adding an extra 16 pages, which would focus on new cars. So we are moving along on that. Okay, on the Alpha convention for 21, Chicago had reached out several months ago, and I believe that, Dave, you have some update.
We've been talking back and forth with Chicago. They're interested. They wanted to know more about hotels, and there's going to be a conference call later in the week. So it's preliminary talk still.
All right, so that's where we're at. And if that falls through, and say if we don't see more progress in the next, say, 2 months, then we want to, in fact, we probably ought to do it anyway, is put a note in both the Alpha owner and one of our emails that if you're considering or we'd like you to consider having a convention in the future with the Colorado people. It was 3 years out, and they wanted to do it in 2020, but they got the idea several years ago. If you recall, we talked about that. So we certainly welcome people say we can't do it this year, but we might be able to do it 2 years from now, because we know that San Diego and Desert Alpha is going to put on a convention. Lance?
We have been talking about it at the last board meeting, which is about two weeks ago.
Okay.
So one of the questions that came up was, would it be feasible for San Diego to put one on for next year? And I don't know. I think that the thing about the hotel at this point is probably the biggest question, and speed event, if we have one or not. So we have to think about that. We had talked about working with LA and seeing if they would be willing to do a speed event in advance of the convention, which was suggested by Dave Smalls in the desert. So we're thinking about that, but we haven't gotten a lot of positive feedback from LA about participation in a convention with them doing a speed event. So we don't know. We have to approach them.
Okay, well, thank you.
Possibility though.
Hey, you know, it's got to start somewhere. So this is exciting. Thank you very much, Lance. And we'll keep hammering on them down here in the desert in Southern California. Yes, Arno.
You skipped over my agenda item.
Oh, I'm sorry, Arno. My apology. I thought you were going to offer to put on a convention in Arizona.
Yeah, then it'd be just me, myself, and I.
We don't need no stinking concourse.
All right, Arno, my apologies.
No problem. Actually, I don't have anything really new to report on the Concours manual. That's just ongoing. But I do have two things.
Yes.
One action item was to, I was trying to reach out to Haggerty, to their junior coordinator. Well, I've sent another follow-up message, and I haven't heard back, but that's ongoing. I was hoping they'd respond back by today, but they have not. So I'll tweak them again. I did get a question from Tim McNair, who is the chief judge at Radnor, and he does stuff for Haggerty and stuff. And for you guys on the West Coast, specifically maybe Joe or Lance, they're looking for a SZ to do a article and a video type production on the West Coast. Does anybody know of one with an owner who might be willing to participate in this kind of thing? Thinking maybe Fred Russell or somebody might know somebody, or I think it's probably in California where they're looking for it. I don't know any SZ owners, but
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll start poking around.
There's one in Ohio for sure, but it's it's one of our members from Ohio Valley that has an SC. And it's in Ohio. I'm not,
a modern SZ, right?
what's that, Arnold?
A modern SZ as opposed to a Giulietta. I think he's looking for a modern SZ, the Milano-based 75 car.
Okay, no. Okay.
You know,
The monster.
The monster, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, that's different. I think there are a couple of them. There was one for sale in San Diego, so
I thought
Canada has them. Canada has them
for
for sure.
RZs.
Okay.
well, the RZ is the convertible.
The SZ is the coupe.
We should just check with the Canadian chapter because they have them for sure.
Right.
Yeah, there's one in London, Ontario.
Yeah, they want it on the West Coast for whatever reason. But anyway, if anybody has a lead, let me know and I'll.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
is this for Haggerty or is it for Redner?
No, I think it's for Haggerty,
Okay.
but he wasn't real specific in his thing. So, but it's for a article and video, and I can't. The only people I can think of who are doing articles and videos these days is Haggerty. So
Yeah.
But anyway, if anybody finds a car, then I'll get more details. In fact, I'll try to get a hold of Tim tomorrow and get some more details on what exactly it is and when and why and how and everything. I just got this text today, so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And
Sorry.
Mike and Doug, let's try to remember that the Haggerty people will be at Amelia, and we can stop by their booth and see if we can, rattle some cages there to get somebody to give us some information, or maybe a different contact about the underage driving.
Yeah, it's the person I'm trying to get a hold of is their junior events coordinator. Her name's Tabitha Hammer, but I know her husband, but it's just one of those things where I think they're overwhelmed, with stuff or whatever, or she's just ignoring me, one of the two. So anyway, I'll keep following
All
up.
right. Thank you, Arnold. And every time I get an email from Haggerty, I keep looking because they will occasionally have something about junior drivers, but I haven't seen anything come up.
Yeah, actually, if you go to their website, there's a huge, they have a
excellent.
whole section on all that stuff. So anyway.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Arnold. Thank you very much. Okay. We don't want to forget the focus on, or the efforts on a foundation. Mike, anything current on that?
Yeah, we had to take a break for a couple of months there while we took care of other more pressing matters, but we're back on track. I've got actually completed draft application. One of our New York members, Greg Mason, volunteer attorney for us, has drafted the application. He and I collaborated on it, and he's completed it. I reviewed it. It looks good to me. Right now, it's in the hands of our accountant, who's going to go over it. And then once he approves it, then we'll go over it with George, and then we'll be presenting it. And we're pretty close to moving forward on this. We've decided to go with the short form, the easy Form 1023 easy application. IRS says they'll turn it around in 2 to 3 months. The practitioners that we've spoken to have said they're actually doing it in as few as 15 days. So we could be up and running with this thing real soon. We just gotta get the application finalized and approved. The fee is $275. You can pay it online with the application. We could be very close to this now.
That's exciting, Mike. Thank you very much.
Yeah. In my spare time, I do this.
I know, in your spare time. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. Let's see. Okay, outreach. We talked about or suggested about having a PR, a media outreach volunteer. You were going to reach out to a New York member?
Yes. Unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to do that. The guy we have in mind, Arno knows him well, Joe Corella. now living in Scottsdale, still a member of Aroc, a past president of Aroc. Great guy. I've known him for 25 years. And this is his profession. If anybody can help us, he can help us. We'll both be double teaming him very shortly.
That's great. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, some ongoing projects. We are going to, Zates, Banj, and Banzer are going to Amelia Island. So we want to, the next couple weeks, be communicating with those in the southeast of the United States to be able to make sure they've signed up for the dinner on Friday night. They've received our volunteer, or sorry, our silent auction item. Our booth is set up. They moved us, but they supposedly it's maybe even a better position. So we're, I think we're moving forward. As Mike says, we're a couple weeks away. Mike, do you want anything to add to that?
No, I don't think there's anything else. There's some logistics items, but we can take that offline.
Yes.
We want to make sure we have all of our membership materials, our cards, and our magazines, and whatever giveaway stuff we have, and banners and posters and all that stuff. But we can make all those arrangements.
You're right, right. And we have, Doug, we have Doug Zates, we have that here. We could probably should start shipping that off now to Jerry Kelly.
Yeah, everything's ready to go. We just, I need to contact Barbara and get the numbers and have it picked up and shipped.
And we'll try to get the banners there, or no, the banners, the posters there before the event starts.
That helps.
Right. Our posters got here the day after everybody left, so. All right. Italy 2020 is sold out. So it's pretty exciting. We've been talking about a fifth year, maybe expanding it a day and adding a new venue to it, but let's get through the 2020 first. Okay, Mike, you had a meeting this past week on Watkins Glen. Could you report on that, please?
Yes, Anthony and I held a video conference with Steve Rao. He's our man on the ground upstate New York, where Watkins Glen is located, and also Phil Pierce of Alpha Buff. He's the president of that chapter, and he's taken a major role in this thing at the local level. It's coming along. It's been evolving slowly, slow to get started, but it's coming together. Basically, it's the same 4-day event that we've been talking about, running from Thursday, September 10th through Sunday, September 13th. We had the Aroc welcome reception on Thursday night. Friday's the big day. That's the Tour de Marque. Alfa Romeo is, of course, the featured marque up there this year. It starts with a rally beginning at 7:30 in the morning. Then we go up to Watkins Glen International Racetrack. We have a brunch up there. We'll be doing parade laps up there. And then we'll watch some races. We'll be touring the paddock, which is open to us. And then we have a dinner set up that night at the track. That's being run by Alphas at the Glen. We don't really have anything to do with that, but we'll be in attendance. I think it'll be a good thing. And then on Saturday is pretty much split between track day, racing going on all day. The festival, which is run by the town of Watkins Glen, that's going on down in town. That's where we're going to have the Aroc booth set up. That's where we're going to be doing our member outreach. Anthony and I also plan to have the Aroc tent set up at the racetrack at the same time, so we can do the same thing. The people that are at the track can visit that tent, and those that are in town can come and visit us on Franklin Street. And so that should be a big day for us. And then Saturday night, we're working on a dinner cruise. We've done this before in 2005 and 2010. A lake boat goes out. It's a big boat, 184 passenger capacity. And we're pretty close to doing it. That's going to cost about $80 a person, but it's a narrated tour of the lake, educational, little break from the car stuff, get everybody involved. As I said, we've done it before. Everybody loved it, so we're working on finalizing that. Should have it done this week. We're very close. And then Saturday, big all alpha race at the track, and for most folks, Sunday is getaway day. So
Okay.
that's the schedule. That's how it looks. It's coming along nicely. We'll be publicizing it and the owner. I'll be feeding Doug more stuff for the website. And yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a really nice event.
Just jam full of activities for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So talking about our New York chapter, I'd like to share with you that Dino Pappas, who had been the president for 10 years, retired, and our very own Anthony is now the president of the New York chapter. So congratulations, Anthony.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the vice president is none other than our vice president, Mike Bange.
Mike Bange. Thank you.
So congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds
Okay.
like a coup.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a corporate takeover.
Yeah, right, for sure. Okay, so Mike Bange and Doug Zates want to go back to Austin this year. So we had Steve Austin came for dinner Saturday night, and he said that he would, he was back in Portland today, reach out to some hotels and tracks and put together a basic package to see what we could put together. And then what we thought we'd do as a first step is mail to everybody who participated in the last 2 years in the event and or were expressed interest. So we'd start with that to see what kind of an interest we've got, at least from repeat people. So we're working on it, is the bottom line.
Okay.
And then if it looks like it's a go, then we need to start promoting it soon. So we have a lot of events to promote between now and then. So again, what we've been trying to do is to take these sequentially so that we don't, steal away the thunder from one event before we get everybody signed up for that event on down the road. Okay, that's it.
On that would be significantly greater if Alpha was contending for the championship by that time.
That's true, for
Well,
sure.
at least we have a team still
Yeah.
with the Alpha name.
Yes.
Right.
Right. So, okay, well, so
Oh,
then.
Polish branded now. Did you see that? Now that Robert Kubica is involved with the team, so now it's branded with a Polish oil company.
Well, I think about the only month we don't have an event is what, April? We come up with some event in April? I don't know. All right, I'm just laughing. All right, is there any other business? If not, we are right on track to adjourn. Yes, Enrique.
I have a request that I need to run by the board first before we actually talk about it. It's for the convention. We were sitting around with the Rossmans, Dave and Penny Rossman, and they are pickleball players. I don't know if you guys know that pickleball is the fastest growing sport for our age group.
Yes,
And
it
they
is.
wanted to have a pickleball event at the convention. And guess who they looked at to say, you need to put this together. So what do you guys think? Do you think we should try and organize? I mean, it would not be something that the convention organizers have to do. I would have to, just do it all together. And I'm thinking, geez, if we can get 12 couples or something, that would be extremely successful. There is a contact that plays pickleball in Colorado Springs, so we could, but I don't know if we want to have this as an event at the I mean, it's not officially a convention event, but we definitely could organize it.
What does a pickleball look like, Enrique? I just think of a dill pickle, so I.
No, it's
a wiffle ball.
It's like a wiffle ball. You need to Google pickleball. It's couples. You do usually
it's a wiffle ball?
Couples is like a big ping pong. It's like ping pong outdoors. on a court that's about a third of the size of a tennis court. And it's the fastest growing sport for people 50 and over, actually. And even the high school kids love it. So it is a really fast growing sport. And it was invented on the West Coast. So it's actually
Seattle.
in Seattle, yes. In the 60s in Seattle. And now it's the crazy. I came back from pickleball for tonight's. We play pickleball till 9 o'clock on Tuesdays. So 9:30 is a perfect time for the call.
Oh my goodness.
What about bocce ball?
Yeah, bocce.
What about bocce ball?
No, it's the request is for pickleball, and several people got all excited, and I wasn't surprised because Palm Desert, Cindy, close to your house, there's a woman who is famous, well-ranked nationally. Now, Gene is talking about having a whole week of lessons out there. Next year.
So you can
may
stay,
have
you
her
can
there
come
all
a
week.
week early or stay a week late, right? Yes, okay. Come to the winter retreat and stay for pickleball tournament.
We could do that like the autocross that they had up in Seattle, and we could have them try pickleball players trying to knock the drivers out while they were running around.
Well, it's an idea. So give me some feedback. You think it's good? I mean, Google pickleball and see what it is. It's sort of a fun thing, and everybody, because of the way the game is set up,
But we have a restaurant.
Run like it's a perfect game.
We have a restaurant in North Kansas City that's called Chicken and Pickle, and they've got pickleball courts. They serve different kinds of chicken, and they have several pickleball courts out in the back. So it's brand new.
Oh my gosh. All right, Enrique, why don't you reach out to the Colorado Springs chapter and, see if there's something that makes sense, it doesn't conflict with the events that the organizers have put together. So we'll hear back from you next month.
Yes.
On pickleball. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. I think with that, we will end the meeting unless there's something absolutely urgent. Right? If not, the meeting is ended. Thank you all for your time. It's been a delight to see you again. So,
Thank you.
and remember, we will be,
Bye.
our next meeting will be the second Tuesday of March.
Thank you.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.